Hey, Kings Dragons ranking 551 here. We are back with another football type video. I said when the season came towards an end, and we got into the postseason for these two teams that I did earlier in the season, I would talk about the their records and who actually got in. So with that being said, let's talk about the Giants and Jets, as I know this is an overdue video, as the playoffs have already begun. And yes, we know who won and everything else. That being said, let's go into this screen share here, guys. So apparently, my prediction and my assessment of the Jets being 10-7 or 9-8 was wrong. They looked good for most of the season and was doing well, but then they just imploded on themselves. And I think it was just like quarterback play was just terrible. And I mean, they just did not find their quarterback. Zach Wilson was just not it. And I don't think he really is it. And this is the problem with these quarterbacks. You have this normal kid who comes out of the woodwork every single year that no one really knows about and doesn't get that much recognition and exposure. Remember, I've talked about 5 stars and 4 stars and talked about that, where that just means you get more exposure than other teams. And, the two guys in that draft are either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. You either take one of those two guys. And instead, the Jets decide to go with Zach Wilson, the BYU quarterback that no one has heard of. He looked good in practice and in pro days, but was he really a good quarterback? No, he was. And I hate to say it, this is obviously the first. Basically, this is what Daniel Jones looked like coming in, right? Because a lot of people hate Daniel Jones as a pick because he came from a school that is associated with basketball, not football. And the only game that he actually had a test against was Clemson, and Clemson really showed out in that game. And he didn't have the receivers and the recruits, but it's not all on him. And he didn't play his best game in that, but it is what it is. And it looks like he's coming into his own. But the Jets need to find someone. So either CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, or some other quarterback they need to draft because the Jets are not here. And I just don't think Zach Wilson is their guy. Now, it's possible that they could get a coach that's better than what they have right now because the coach that they have right now is not that great. They could get a coach like Coach Debo that the Giants have. And I mean what he's doing or Dabo, whatever his name is. Sorry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. But basically, the Giants, I'm gonna look it up, guys, for you, just in case I'm pronouncing it wrong. Um Double Ryan Dable. And I mean Dable, sorry, I don't know why I'm pronouncing it wrong. Dabo. Um Dable. Anyway, the point is that the Jets imploded on themselves. My records were wrong. I said 9-8 or 10-7. They didn't do well. And woo! They went and they got axed and got packing and they went out of the playoff and they are gone. So let's just X out of these Jets and say so long, bye bye. See you next season. We'll see what happens with you guys. Let's talk about the boys in blue and red and white. My goodness, my New York Giants. Yes, guys, if you can't see it on the side here, I'll turn it a little bit. You can see right behind here on the camera. I have a big Giants poster. I have a blue and maize wall from Michigan. The blue represents the Giants. I have other things and other pennants up there. I was surprised though for playoff week because I do also have another AFC team that I do like because I have family out there and an NFC team that I like. Now, that's because some of my family live close in LA. Other family live out in closer to San Francisco. So I have family out there that are 49er fans and Warrior fans. And then I have fans that are LA Charger or LA Ram or LA Laker or Clipper fans. But ultimately, I was really surprised how me as a fan of the Chargers, my Charger guys, how they blew it against. Now, granted, Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but I was surprised how the Jaguars came back in that game and the Chargers defense wasn't up to par. With that being said, I think their coach needs to be fired because I think it's bad execution on his part. And then also I think they missed an extra point or something to put the game at tied, or could have put the game away at that point, and they completely botched it. But with that being said, let's talk about the New York Giants. So originally, guys, I had them winning 13-4 games. 13 and for 13 games, but they didn't win 13 games. Excuse me. They came very close to winning double digit games, but they didn't. And they finished the season 9-7-1. I feel that if they had beat the Redskins twice, I'm sorry, the Commanders. I don't know why I said the Redskins. I'm gonna get canceled because of that. But the Commanders twice, and the Dallas Cowboys, they didn't beat at all. They didn't beat Philly. I feel if the Giants had split, so let's say they win both games. So that's 10 wins right there, okay? That's 10-6. Okay? Now you give them one win for Philly. That's 11-6. You give them one win for Dallas. That's 12-5. They finished the season at 12-5. But I mean, I said that they would split against those teams. I said they could go 13-4. They didn't, but they still got into the playoffs. So you can't be that disrespectful. Now, guys, I apologize in my assessment. Coach Debo, sorry if I keep pronouncing his name wrong, but he is a guru. He has turned Daniel Jones into a Josh Allen quarterback. 24 out of 35 is not bad. Guys, that's a really good completion percentage. 301 yards, 2 TDs, and 0 interceptions. That is very well made. Now, let's look down here. So I'm not going to look through every stat, but this is what the stats had. The first quarterback in all of playoff history to have 301 yards, 2 TDs, and 78 rushing yards. Now, Saquon only had 53, but he had 2 TDs as well, so he really helped out and stuff. And you don't need that. You don't need everyone to do that. And then I thought with no wide receivers, our team, Darius Slayton was on fire. Saquon, Richie James, Bellinger, Lawrence Kager, Isaiah Hodginson's. I'm sorry, Isaiah Hodgins. And then our defense was just, I don't know. I mean, it was okay, but I mean, my lord, the secondary I wanted to scream at. But 31 and 20, 31 to 24 is the final score of this game. Giants have to play Philly next week, or this upcoming week. But ultimately, I don't think it's such a bad game. But I do want to talk about one play, and let me see if I can find it on YouTube, guys, because I'll show you this one play that I'm talking about that I'm not really, really happy about. And this is, let's see, Giants versus Vikings. Roughing the passer. So I don't know where it is in the video. I mean, oh, here, you know what? I mean, this might be in the play right here, guys. I apologize. This might take a little longer than I thought. But, I mean, it is a really important play to recognize here. So this is 4th and 8 right here. Let's go full screen. Now, guys, I'm only going to show this little bit because, I mean, normally I wouldn't show this play, ultimately because of copyright and stuff. But now I believe it's one of these two guys. It could be Leonard Williams, or this is Dexter Lawrence right here. What he does is he comes through here and he grabs Kirk Cousins here. Now, granted, oh, that's pink, not purple. Kirk Cousins right here still has the ball in his hands. Watch where he hands it. Now, Dalvin Cook is going to run up field, or you know what? I don't know if this is the right play. It could be the next play after this, but I think this might be the play. I mean, oh no, this is just the final play of the game. I'm sorry. This is not roughing the passer. This is not, guys. I'm sorry. This is not roughing the passer. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that was roughing the passer. Hang on one second. I apologize. That's not roughing the passer. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, they're not even showing it. I don't know. I mean, if they're gonna show it now, guys. I don't know if they'll show it, but it is one of the final plays in the game, so I am gonna try to find it for you guys. Just bear with me. Um, all right, guys. So I'll be back in a sec, and I'll try to find it for you. But once I find it, I'll let you know. Okay, guys. So we are back. I found the play that I want to talk about. It is right after Darius Slayton dropped the ball on 3rd and 15. Now, watch this play very closely. This is the only play I want to talk about that I have a problem with the whole entire game. The Giants still got the win. I'm happy about it. You can't complain about every single call. But come on, this was roughing the passer. Are you serious? Come on, man. I mean, this is not running the map, sir. Watch this play right here. So, believe this is Dexter Lawrence or this. I don't care what color I'm using right now, guys. I don't care. One of these two guys, I think this is Williams, but this could be Dexter Lawrence right here. So what he does is push through, and I mean, I'm gonna use a different color, guys, just to highlight. So he comes around him. Watch Dalvin Cook go out here somewhere and try to catch the ball. Now, Kirk Cousins still has the ball in his hands. That's not roughing the passer. Watch this play very closely, guys. So you see Dexter Lawrence, he comes in, he slams, boom! And they call that a flag. There's a flag. Now, I think they'll show a different angle of it. What? I mean, personal foul, roughing the passer. What? Look at this again on the showing in the replay. You got Dexter Lawrence. You got him. He's still holding the ball. He's still holding the ball. He's still holding the ball. Then he releases it and he throws him down. You're not allowed to throw him down or something? Excuse me. That's pass interference. I'm sorry, that's not pass interference. That's not roughing the passer. Okay? The guy still has the ball in his hands. I know what roughing the passer is. We saw it in the TCU Michigan game. Now, everyone, yes, I know. They said it should have been roughing the passer. Though the ball was long gone out of JJ McCarthy's hand. He still got hit. And yet, I know two different levels of football. One is college, one is NFL. But there are so many stupid things that I've said time and time again that I hate in playoff play. It doesn't matter if it's the Giants, NFL. It doesn't matter if it's college football whatsoever. Let me explain what I mean. Not last year. 2020, I believe it is. 2020 is the 2019-2020 season for 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl. Now, prior to that game, we have Vikings Saints in a scenario where Kyle Rudolph gives a little nudge like this and kind of pushes off across his defender to catch the winning touchdown to win it. And refs give you a little more lenient in the playoff and stuff. But the same scenario happens in the championship for the nation, for the Super Bowl, to prove that you're the best in all of football in its rightful glory in the United States. And yet, they call a similar scenario where George Kittle pushes off the guy so slightly with his arm to get some separation and to catch the ball to potentially win the Super Bowl. And yet, the inconsistency is what cost the Niners that Super Bowl. That's the problem with today, is that everyone knows it's scripted in a certain degree because you get lenience and then there's plays later in the playoff. Watch, there'll probably be a roughing passer against the Cowboys Tom Brady game or something or some game in the AFC Championship or NFC Championship it won't be called, and then watch the Super Bowl where it will be called, and it will give one team the win and the other team the loss because of stupidity and inconsistency. But that's not what this video is truly about. This video is about the New York Football Giants. How about them Giants, guys? Because the way that they look right now is spectacular. And I don't know if they beat Philly, but, I think that the Giants could go very far in these playoffs. Hey, they could get to the NFC Championship and play the Niners, but we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. And that's all I got to say. So until next time, guys, don't forget to stay radical. I'll see you in the next one.